Is anyone else wondering what's going on with Francis Ngannou? I'm not talking about his injury, but his contractual negotiations with the UFC. On the run up to UFC 270 and his fight with Ciryl Gane, the contractual negotiations formed a massive part of the marketing leading up to this fight. The fact that Ngannou wanted to box more, the potential outstanding fights left on his contract, sunset clauses, and the overall state of the heavyweight division as a whole. Although the organisation would have loved for Gane to have won the bout with Ngannou, sadly this wasn't the case, and on September the 3rd, Gane will be facing Tai Tuivasa. Having overcome the hurdles at UFC 270, now the biggest threat to the contractual negotiations is the return of a legend, Jon Bones Jones. Jon's move to the heavyweight division has directly compromised Ngannou's negotiations, and here's 3 reasons why. Ngannou doesn't sell fights. Let me put this into context. Compared to JBJ, Ngannou doesn't sell fights. Historically, the heavyweight division has been hard to market. The fights are usually too short to get the fans to buy into them. And with the exception of Derek Lewis and Brock Lesnar, the division isn't exactly known for its standout personalities. However, the knockout power of Ngannou made for an impressive highlight reel. Plus, the friendships between Adesanya and Kamaru Usman meant that arguably more opportunity was given to Ngannou to introduce him to a fan base outside of those who purely take an interest in the heavyweight division. However, even with all this, Ngannou just doesn't sell enough fights compared to JBJ. In what some might have considered to be his last fight in the UFC 270, he sold an estimated 300,000 buys on pay-per-view. This is compared to Jon Jones, whose lower estimates are around 500k. Because of this, it was reported that Jones wanted to be compensated for moving up to the heavyweight division, and arguably his appearance in the heavyweight division will help breathe some light into the division. JBJ is a legend. JBJ has 1 defeat in his spotless record. For those who know about JBJ's loss, you'd know that this is nothing to tarnish his record. A decorated wrestler and the UFC's youngest signee. When we talk about the best to ever do it, JBJ is one name that we always have to mention, alongside George St. Pierre. The skill set he brings to the heavyweight division in effect means that the overall bar within the division will need to be higher. And this is one of the reasons why when discussions around who will fight JBJ come up, names such as Stipe are thrown around. Ngannou is still a growing fighter, and his fight against Stipe demonstrated that. JBJ is a legend and a league of his own, and anyone who believes otherwise is seriously mistaken. Ngannou wants too much. Dana Franklin White Jr. is arguably one of the greatest sport entrepreneurs of our time, and one thing he's managed to do successfully is he has made sure that no person is bigger than the organisation. The only person who has ever come close is Conor McGregor. However, in his absence, the balance has been redressed. Ngannou has nowhere near the level of accolades that Conor has, and in turn, he's not made a massive contribution to the organisation. But in many ways, he isn't just asking for a pay rise. He's asking to be placed in a position where he functions almost independently of the UFC, and that can't work. For all intents and purposes, he hasn't done enough, and with the introduction of JBJ into the division, it's questionable whether he will ever have the chance to. But let us know what you think. Is JBJ more of an opportunity for Ngannou than a hindrance? Let us know in the comment section. Like, share and subscribe.